you guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be discussing Monsters University. Now, the way that Monsters University starts out, it starts out with a young Mike Mazowski going on a field trip to this Monsters Inc. company. So everyone has a partner for the Monsters University company except for Mike, and he tries so hard. He even asks his cousin, but his cousin says no because the cousin already has a partner. He tries so hard to get one, but the teacher ends up partnering with him in the end, and they go inside the building, and then we meet the monsters, and the monsters ask the little monsters, "Are you guys on a field trip with your school?" And they say yes. And then we meet this one monster, and he tells Mike about how Monsters University is the best school to do the scaring, to become a scarer and work for Monsters Inc. Incorporated company. So Mike, being as small as he is, he sees all the monsters going into the doors. Well, he sees all the monsters from the back, but he wants to be up front so he can actually see better. And he really wants a front row seat, but everybody's just being mean to him. And this one kid said, "Go away, you don't belong on a scare floor." So, even though the teacher and the guy who was giving them the tour said, "Don't go over the line," Michael goes over the line, and he goes into the room with the monster that he was talking with earlier about MCU University. But the monster doesn't end up seeing him until the very end, and he says, "Wow, I didn't even know you were in there, kid. Not bad." And so the teacher asks Mike, "Do you have anything you have to say for yourself, Mike? Do you have anything that you want to say to the rest of the class?" And Mike says, "How do I become a scarer?" And then we skip over to Mike's first day on the bus heading to Monsters University. And it's here where we meet Randall Bottom. So, this is where we meet Randall Bottom. And believe it or not, Randall is in the first Monster Inc. movie that is on my channel. Be free to check that out. You're free to check that out after this video if you want to. So, it turned out that him and Randall actually become fast friends. And Mike's been doing pretty good in school, but then we meet the dean of the school, Dean Hartscrabble. And even though Mike's been doing pretty good in school, he meets James P. Sullivan, but his friends call him Sully. And Sully is famous because his monster is a big scarer in the monster world. So, Sully gets in with the cool kids. He's in this he is in this club called um called Roar Omega Roar, and it's a big exclusive club. So in his first day of class, he meets Dean Hardscrabble, and I'm gonna be honest, Dean Hardscrabble, she don't play around. She does not play around, but I just don't like her. But I like the fact that she is all business and that she kept her cool when something happened. Okay, let me explain. They were in class and Michael and Sully were fighting because Sully got kicked off of his club, Roy Mega Roy, because his grades were slipping, and Mike was beating him in every class. So the Roar Mega Roar team took his coat away until he can pull his grades up. But for Mike, grades are not really an issue because he studies and he works really hard. And Sully actually told him that he's not even in the same league with him. And when he tried to get into Roy McElroy, when Mike tried to get into it, Sully said, "Go away, you just don't belong here. And this club is for people who actually, have a chance." So Sully is mad at him because he feels that Mike is the reason that he got kicked out of his club. So he pushes his books down to the ground, and then Randall tells him, "Mike, let's just move." And then when he goes to move, Mike says, "Unlike you, I had to work to get here." And then Sully says, "That's because you don't belong here." And so Mike tries to scare him. Mike tries to scare Sully, but it doesn't work. And then when the dean and the teacher start to teach for the exams, the boys end up messing it up and then bumping into the dean's prize winning power um 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 they end up bumping into the dean's um 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 scare power thing that that she had for years. But even though they end up breaking it, the dean of the school doesn't seem mad, and she tells the boys to continue with the exams, and she questions them both. Mike does good, but he cannot demonstrate. So she says that she has seen enough. Sully that he will no longer be in the scare program because of what he did. And she actually tells Mike that he is not scary and that he has something that cannot be taught. And she recommends that he will no longer be a part of the program. So Mike is sad for most of the day. And Sally is just mad that he follows him around and he gives him the angry stare for the rest of the day, which I don't understand because really, Sally, if you would have studied my friend, you would have been right there next to Mike. And it's not Mike's fault that you bumped into the thing. You should have watched where you were going, and then you wouldn't have bumped into um Dean's heart scrabble scare tank in the first place. If you would have watched where you were going in the first place. So Mike gets so mad that he ends up throwing his books against the wall because of what the dean said. But Mike has been working on this all his life. So Mike is not going to give up that easily. Mike is not going to give up that easily. He is going to enter the scare games. So he goes to the scare competition to enter the scare games with his friends Ooze Kappa Kappa. And then everybody just starts laughing when they see Ooze Kappa Kappa. And then Sally gets on the team with them, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, they get off to a pretty rough start. In the first competition, they did not even work together, and they lost the first competition because they came out of the tunnel separately, but you're supposed to come out of the tunnel as a team. They did not work together. So Mike says, this is only gonna work if you guys do what I tell you. So they tried to listen to Mike, but Sally in the next games don't listen to Mike, and Sally almost gets his team disqualified. But the team helps Sally not get disqualified, and they actually win the first competition. But as they are winning competition to competition to competition to competition, they are invited to this party, and the other teams end up throwing paint and confetti all over them and calling them the cutest team ever, and they end up putting it in newspapers and magazines on campus. And basically, the team just feels defeated that they just sit in the house in the dark looking all sad at each other. But Mike the leader, my guy, tells them that they are going on a field trip. And they actually go to Monsters Inc. We Scare Because We Care building, where they see all different monsters, all shapes and sizes, using their differences to their advantages. And Sally and Mike make up, and they actually become pretty good friends. And they actually build up the confidence in the team. And they actually tell the dean that if we win the Scare Finals, you let us all back into the Scare program, because believe it or not, one of the members of Ooze Kappa Kappa did actually sign up for this Scare program, but the dean, Hardscrabble, said no. And then Mike says, how about a wager? If I can pass the final test, you let me and my friends back into the Scare program, and it'll prove what? And this is when the dean says, and if I let you back into the Scare program, what would that prove? It, and Mike says that you were wrong, Dean Hardscrabble. So the bet is on, and Ooze Kappa Kappa does so well that the dean has even been watching. But the dean says, well, Mike Lazowski, you just got lucky. But on the final exam, Sally and Mike, they actually practice scaring because the dean told Sally that I am going to be grading the test tomorrow, and I know for a fact that some of you are scary and some of you are not. And she was talking about Mike, but Sally says, no, Mike is the heart of Mike. Mike is the heart of the team. And then the dean says, do you think he's scary? And then Sally didn't answer. And then the dean just goes away. So Mike and Sully practice that night. And then when they take the exams, oh, I don't like this part. When they take the exams, they all pass with flying colors. And then when it's Mike's turn, he passes. And then when they go out to celebrate, he stays behind and he tells Sully that I did it. I passed the Scare program. And then Sully says, yeah, you did it. Come on. We're gonna be late for celebrating. And then Mike tried, and then Mike just snaps his fingers, and the doll just is instantly scared. And then he goes, and then he looks under the bed and finds out that the machine has been tampered with by Sully. And Sully admits that he cheated. And then Mike says, "You lied. You said you believed in me." And then Sully tells him, "What was I supposed to do? Let the rest of the team fail because you're not scary?" And then everybody is disappointed that they leave the trophy on the ground. And then Sully actually gets back into the club, but he doesn't want back in. And he tells Dean Hardscrabble the truth that he cheated. But Mike is gone. He is going to the scare door to scare to actually scare the simulator. And actually this is bad because the whole school's been shut down. But Mike got his way in there and he is on his way to scare the simulator once more. But then when he gets in there, it turns out that the simulator person isn't even afraid of him. And then when Sully finds him, they have a heart-to-heart talk, and Mike actually tells Sully that he wanted it more than anyone to be scary. But in the end, it just wasn't enough, and that he is just so disappointed because he's been working really hard, and it just wasn't enough to get into the scare program. And then Sully says that he actually knows how he feels, and then Mike says, "You have no idea how I feel because you are a Solomon." And then Sully says, "Yeah, I'm a Solomon that I get scared sometimes, and I cheated on the test, and I lied about being scared. So they may put on a brave face, but in the end, I am terrified." And then Mike, 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 Mike asks Sully, "How come? How come you never told me this before?" And then Sully says, "Because we weren't friends before." And then humans come, and then they go back into a building, but they're trapped. So Mike actually gives Sully a confidence boost. So Mike actually gives Sully a confidence boost and says, "If we can scare from the inside, that will give us enough power to open the door, and then we could get out of here." But Sully gets scared, and then Mike tells him, "You need to stop being a Solomon and start being you." So they end up working together, breaking the door, and actually scaring the dean. And the dean, for the first time in her life, is surprised. So, at the end of the movie, they do get it. Okay. Sully and Mike do get expelled. And and uh and then and 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 then at the school, Sully asks Mike, "What's your what's your next plan? And then and then this is what Mike says, you know, I don't know. And then Sully says, you are the great Mike Wazowski. You'll think of a plan. And then Mike says, so long. And then Sully goes chasing after him on the bus. And then Mike tells the bus driver to stop the bus. And then Sully says, Mike, you can't quit. You may not be scary, but you are fearless. And if Hardscrabble cannot see that, well, she can just. And then Hardscrabble hears the whole thing, and she tells Mike and Sully that they can stay, and that she was surprised for the first time, and that and and that she hopes Mike keeps surprising her, and Mike and Sully end up working in the mailroom, graduating from college together, and actually working for the Monsters Inc. building. And Mike actually does become a coach. Oh, and do you guys know Randall? Oh yeah. Well, Randall was kicked out of Roar Omega Roar, and Sally actually beat him in the test, and Randall said, "I will get you for this, Sullivan." And we hear the voice of Raj from the company when the doors blew up. We can hear the voice of Raj from the company from where the doors blew up in the ending when they blew up the door to open it. So the voice of Raj is that snail that's in the first movie. And Sally and Mike, they become best friends. And that's the end of the movie. It ends with Sally becoming a scarer, and it turned out that Mike makes a pretty good coach. Like he coached his scare team to victory. So he is the scare coach for Sally, and they end up working for Monsters Incorporated together. And that is the end of the movie. Bye. Oh, before I go, I should tell you that I am gonna be starting my Christmas movies. So look out. So look out. So so look out for Elf next time you see me, cause I will be doing Elf on the next video. Bye.